How can you become the best version of yourself? I'm Penny Lane, and In the Driver's Seat starts now. Welcome to In the Driver's Seat, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals who drive their industries forward. In this episode, we talk all things health and fitness with inspiring veteran of the health and fitness industry. Joining me now is Ray Kelly, founder of Ray Kelly Fitness.
Hey Penny, how you going?
Hello, Mr. Kelly, how are you?
I'm good.
Great to see you. Thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm thrilled to have you here.
Always great catching up.
Now, you've had a very interesting life and a life-changing career and inspired so many people. Tell us a little bit about what life was like for you, Ray, when you were growing up.
Yeah, well, one of 5 children within 6 years of each other. I'm a twin, but two children with a mental disability, and just living in Houso in Mount Druitt, Western Sydney. It was a pretty tough life, I guess. We only had the basics, but it set me up for the future. It was good.
Yeah, it's probably that's what's giving you that drive to help so many people, because you've been there yourself. So now I know that you have studied your way out of the circumstances that you were in, but share with the viewers some of the things that you did to really educate yourself and get yourself ahead.
Yeah, well, I left school at 16. I couldn't wait, so a week after my 16th birthday, I left home, moved about 300 Ks away from my family and started out on my own. And it took me a few years to find what I wanted to do, but I got into the fitness industry, picking up weights, volunteering to get started before I could get paid for a job. So just to get that experience. And I worked my way into sort of working with Institute of Sport within a couple of years, and then sort of at the age of 29 did my first degree, so exercise science degree. I was really scared. I thought I'd fail for sure. I thought I wasn't very smart, but I killed it. It was really good. And then sort of about 5 or 6 years later, I did a master's in education, so PE teacher. And then I started traveling across America and Europe to major medical conferences to learn as much as I could about reversal of type 2 diabetes or remission of type 2 diabetes, as well as weight loss in general for people with chronic diseases. And then sort of started my master's and now I'm doing a PhD at the University of Melbourne School of Medicine on it.
Fantastic. Absolute brain box. Now, you've worked with some really big athletes as well, haven't you? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I guess in the earlier days, I sort of was involved with preparing athletes for world championships, Olympic Games, things like that. But as you know, my passion is the fighting arts. I was a very small kid to the point where I didn't grow till I was about 19. And so at I weighed 47 kilos when I was 19 and boxing. So I was a small kid. And my parents just wanted to get me into a martial arts at 4 because they just thought, I'm just never going to survive in Mount Druitt without being able to learn to look after myself being that small. And I wanted to play footy, but they bought time and said, no, we'll get you into martial arts. So it's been a big part of my life. So the fighting arts, I trained about 14 world champion boxers, so some amazing people, got to travel the world and, worked the corner at the MGM Grand in Vegas. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, how amazing. Who was that for, sorry?
That was for Lenny Zapp.
Oh, wow.
Lenny Zappavinia.
Yeah, fantastic. What an experience. And now you're doing a lot of work in remote communities. Tell us a little bit more about that, Ray, and what you're doing.
Yeah, so in 2006, they came across a study that showed that Aboriginal people could turn diabetes around in 7 weeks. And I was just blown away. I hadn't heard more about it. It was an award-winning study. And so I've been focused on that ever since. And when I was first doing it, health professionals would be saying, oh, this guy's reckless, he's dangerous, you shouldn't be doing this, it's bad for the person, for the patient, but we were just getting great outcomes. So, I've been pushing that for a long time now. I was in Cape York last week, and I'm going to be in Torres Strait in a few weeks, and we work throughout New South Wales and that, but go into communities, work with the medical services on how to prescribe diet and exercise pretty much as a foundation, because we know that it's a cornerstone of a lot of chronic diseases, including type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease, but our ways of like supporting it through the medical and health profession is not that great. So when we do that, we get really good outcomes and get people off medication.
Yeah, fantastic. And you were recently in Canberra. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I've thankfully been having a few doors open to me over the last couple of years, because it wasn't like that for most of my career.
You've made them open.
Yeah, things have happened. Well, yeah, I've run through brick walls, no doubt. But this was a Diabetes Australia event I was invited to speak to alongside the Health Minister, Mark Butler, who was talking about the diabetes inquiry that's been just released that day. So that was great. There was a lot of people there letting government know how bad it's going to get with type 2 diabetes in Australia, but I was able to sort of explain how we do community-wide solutions in some pretty challenging environments.
Yeah, diabetes is a real quiet killer, isn't it? What are the signs that you would see if you had diabetes?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's actually caused by a build-up of fat around the liver and pancreas. So, like, it can happen for people who are 65 kilos or 265 kilos. So it's not about how much fat you have, it's where you store it. So, it has that genetic predisposition. But these days, a lot of those processed foods are sort of escalating things. But usually, you'll notice, needing to urinate a lot is probably one of the main things, but most people only find out because they have a regular health check and their sugars get picked up. So that's probably the best advice is, if you know you've got a family history, if you're not as active as you should be and you might be carrying a couple of extra kilos, I'd be getting your HbA1c test done every year.
Every year. And is it true that sugar causes diabetes? Is it mainly sugar, or is it just being fat? Is it the weight around the organs in general?
Yeah, no, obviously sugar contributes because it's, it raises your blood sugars, acutely, but it's really about the extra calories in your diet. So if you're eating lots of sugary foods, then it can contribute, but the same thing can happen if you're just eating too much food, drinking too much alcohol, all those sorts of things, and not exercising enough. So it's really about where you store the fat. And we're talking about type 2 diabetes here, which is the main one. Like, it sort of caters for about 90% of people with diabetes.
And through your life, Ray, what are been some of the biggest through your life, Ray, what has been some of the biggest challenges that you've had to overcome?
Myself personally, definitely, like with the childhood I had, I didn't have much confidence. I had a lot of a low self-worth. I didn't think, to be honest, I had a lot of success in my early parts of my career, but it took till 2009 till I could actually go, you know what, I'm actually pretty good at this. Before I'd be like, oh, well, right place, right time, or I was lucky, or people don't know how little I know compared to others. But then it was 2009, I kind of realized, you know what, I've had this real steady line of success over the years, and I work hard and I know what I'm talking about here. And I realized I probably overestimated what other people knew. They didn't know as much as what they did.
That's probably what made you so successful, is being so humble.
Yeah, but it's also acknowledging that, the environment in which we live changes constantly. So it's really important to understand, how people are living and what they're going through day to day. But also with research, we want to be sort of guiding our advice using research, but research is ongoing, it's and it's also down to who's being tested. So, like, say, in the Aboriginal community, it's no good taking a study that's been done in Western Australia and trying to convert it across to New South Wales, because the communities are very, very different. It might as well be comparing Scotland to Finland, you know what I mean? So it's just understanding that we're learning all the time. We never know too much. And also, we're accountable for our outcomes. And I think that's probably one of the best lessons I've learned is, don't have a big ego. You're going to get some things wrong and you're going to be constantly learning. So if things aren't working out, the only question you've got to ask is, what can I do about it?
Yeah. And what would you do? What would you say to people that are looking to get into this kind of industry? What's a good way to break into it?
Look, it's a great industry. Well, what's better than health? And I've worked with a lot of very successful people who, have all the money they ever need, but would swap it all for better health. So, and we don't realize that until we lose it. But to get started, look, just be around good people, be around people that are going to help develop you, because there is a learning curve. But even just whilst you're studying, the best advice I can give to anyone is just volunteer. Like you get good experience, and no one's going to write you a bad reference if you're doing it.
Yeah, if you're doing it for free, absolutely. So what future projects have you got on the cards?
Yeah, I'm currently working on a series of workshops in partnership with Diabetes Australia, and we've sort of got the support of the Diabetes Educators Association, NATSI, which is the Aboriginal Health Workers and Practitioners, IHA, so Indigenous Allied Health, CARDI, the Diabetes Research Centre, the Diabetes Society. So it's a great combination of groups. So what we're trying to do is improve the capacity and knowledge and confidence of health workers on the ground to improve health outcomes through that. So there's that, but also, just doing the intensive stuff. So going in like we do now and training doctors, nurses, allied health professionals on how to support patients better. I mean, too often communities get blamed for poor health outcomes, but a lot of the times, a lot of that power is within the health system itself, and we've got to do better.
Yeah, good on you, Ray. And for anybody wanting to change their health, there's so many mixed messages out there. Is there any basic advice that like 3 top tips that you could give to people that are looking to turn their health around?
Yeah, three is pretty easy actually. Eat fresh, unprocessed food. Whether you're vegetarian, vegan, carnivore, like just whatever meal plan you want to follow, just fresh, unprocessed food. Exercise every day, walk every day, find the time. No one's got time. I mean, I'm busy. You just got to make time. You got to find that time, and don't give up. Simple as that. I've had a lot of issues with busted knees and cardiovascular disease. So I've got a strong genetic history there where they just coincidentally found a partial blockage there, and so you've got to just set yourself up with that. And
thank you, Ray.
If you do that,
really, really good advice. I'm so sorry we're out of time. I could talk to you for ages. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us, Ray, and for coming on the show. And say hi to your lovely wife and all your lovely kids too from me.
Will do. Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, Ray. In the Driver's Seat is brought to you by the Perfect Cosmetics Company. Join me next time to learn more from industry legends about how you can take the wheel and steer your life in the right direction. This is Ticker, and we'll be right back.
You're watching Ticker. We'll have more in just a few minutes.